Right. Here with Washington State women's basketball head coach Kamie Ethridge. Coach, your team jumps back in action as you end the non-conference season this weekend, kind of NBA style like schedule to end the non-conference as you'll have, I believe it's 3 games in 5 days, I believe. Travel halfway across the country to Texas in between there. So you kick off that stretch with Jackson State here at home. How's your team preparing for the Tigers, and just overall, how is your team preparing for these final 3 games in the non-conference slate?
Well, clearly, we're in the midst of finals and trying to clean up a lot of stuff that we did poorly, quite frankly, against UW, and obviously lost to a really good team there, and they exposed some things that we do and don't do. With a performance like Charlize Ledger-Walker, to not have anything around her that could help save us a little bit was really disappointing. But we also understand it's a long season and use this week as much as we possibly can. We've got this bug going around. I don't know if you hear it in me or not, but it's gone around and now it's come back around. And so practices have been a little bit tough to do during finals but today is an off day for them, and I think that's gonna help us a little bit. And then, like you said, we've got just bang, bang, bang in games. Happy to be back back here in Beasley. Excited about playing in front of our fans again. Again, feel really good about this team and the potential of it. We're just not consistently there in a 40-minute game with all players that are prepared to play and do what's necessary to win. So the consistency factor is big for us, and no bigger than playing a Jackson State, who's played maybe the toughest schedule in the entire country. They'll be walking in here thinking that they can knock off us and then have to go duplicate stuff on the road in back-to-back games almost. So really a difficult end of our non-conference schedule, but I think everybody's excited about the opportunities we have.
One thing you mentioned is that you're going to open the stretch here at home here. Beasley's been a very friendly place for the Cougars here of late over the last couple of seasons here. Dating back to last season, the team has won 8 straight games here. I believe you've won 11 straight games against non-conference opponents here at Beasley. So just how comfortable is it? How important is it to have that success at home to sit there and help build tournament resumes and to help you build at large bids as you're trying to get to that 3rd straight NCAA tournament appearance?
Well, it doesn't matter where you go. If you're home or on the road, you want to be a consistent basketball team. There is a comfort factor for anyone that's got a home, that gets to sleep in their own bed, have their own routine, and not be, in a hotel room and doing things that are a little bit outside of your comfort maybe or control. So I think it makes a lot of sense. The home crowd, your band, the energy that you get that you can feed off of. Obviously, it's an area where we really want our fan base to grow and the excitement around our program to grow, because this team is obviously a lot of fun to watch. I think we're starting to create some momentum there. We certainly need that again, even, with the idea of at the end of finals, students might not be there, but still it's going to be an exciting time that we get to play in front of our fans again. We don't play a lot of non-conference games at home, so when we do, we really need people to get out. And again, this 3-game stretch is as big as any that we have this season. We need to finish off our non-conference schedule well and be playing really good basketball when we come back after Christmas.
Jamie Vanek from Coug Fan couldn't join us today, but he did send in a couple of questions via text. First question he has here is, what did you see on the UW tape? What did the UW tape show you? What are some things that you've been focusing on in practice, kind of the cleanup coming out of that game?
Well, you just have to give them a lot of credit. I just thought they were the hungrier team. They screened us, and we did not screen. They played harder than us, and at times. They made some incredibly hard shots that maybe they haven't made this year, but that's the nature of a rivalry game, and people step up and make big plays. They made, we would make a 3 and they would come back and they would, put a dagger in our heart and answer it. So they answered plays night in, night out. Sometimes we didn't. They would make something we got a wide open look and we didn't answer it. So, it's just like we talked about. I think being on the road, the confidence, you're not as confident on the road. You can get rattled maybe a little bit more. That's what we're working on. We want to be a great road team. We don't want to be affected by the crowd. We don't want to be affected by not playing, a good first half. Whatever might hit us, you got to be able to go on the road and play it well. A lot of things. I mean, I'm disappointed in the schemes that we had to try to defend them. I didn't do a good enough job to get our kids ready to play. So again, it's a learning experience for all of us, and we certainly have tried to crank up our intensity and our expectation and our standards of how we're going to guard, and the level of engagement in guarding has to improve. But you got to give UW a lot of credit. They're a really solid team that made big basket after big basket, and they guarded us great.
Another one from Jamie is Charlie's obviously had her 40-point game, but Bella was in double figures as well too, but didn't get double-digit performances from others that you've really depended on. Key players, Tara Wallach, Johanna Tedder, and Bella herself, even though she did have double figures, still kind of has some areas where she could have improved on there. How big is it in the final 3 games of the non-conference to get those 3 rolling, to get their confidence up heading back into conference play?
Yeah. It's really big. I mean, I Bella's the X factor, and I don't think she would argue with me by saying that she didn't have a good game against UW. She got some good baskets late. She needs to be getting those all the time. Tara and Yo, again, those 2 players have to perform at a higher level. They have to score at a higher level. AT coming off the bench, she's more than capable in the way that people are playing us. Like for Tara, the way people are playing her, she has to score the basketball. The way they're playing Yo, she got some great looks, she has to score it. AT, she's got to make some quicker decisions on taking shots that they're giving her. And again, all that's a learning experience. It's exactly why you don't know how people are going to guard you. We've switched from zone to this kind of defense to that kind of defense. And now you got to have your players that go out there and have confidence and believe in our system to know that if they get a great look, they got to knock it down. And those 5 starters, and then you put AT in there. Yeah, we got to surround Charlize with a much better consistent play and production around her.
And then I know it was ultimately a loss, but coming out of a conference game, it kind of refocused you guys a little bit, make sure you don't lose focus during these final 3 games. How big is it to kind of have a conference game, to kind of have that wake up moment towards the tail end of December, where maybe other conferences are just closing out a non-conference schedule where they could be, ease walking into finals week right now, while ahead you guys are going in the finals week with the conference game and now going off to Texas? Just how big is that going to be playing later on to the year?
I don't know if it's conference or not. We're going to play great teams in our conference. It just happened to be scheduled in December. That's going to happen from here on out. So it's a challenge to be ready for a conference opponent. I think you get, usually when you're playing them a little bit later, you have a few more games under their belt, and you know them a little bit better. But we clearly are going to know the conference way better. We're like anyone else. We're going to get 12 games in, I guess, before we start back up in conference, and we need to get as many wins as we possibly can. But more importantly, we need to play good basketball. We need to grow from what we were, last Sunday to a better basketball team when we show up on Saturday. And that's the challenge for our team, and that's the excitement for our team, and that's the opportunity that we have in front of us. And we want to have a great fan base and a great crowd that comes out and supports us and hopefully helps us get to a win.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here. Best of luck on Saturday against Jackson State. We'll talk to you after the game. Until then, go Cougs.
Thanks so much. Go Cougs.